You know, it's really kind of crazy to me when you throw one ball, and the main ball that I've thrown is a 15 pounder. When you go from that to a 6K, yes, you love how light it is. But, big difference. Big difference. I will tell you, and you can feel it like that. You can feel it at the snap of your, drop of your fingers. So, didn't really have a plan today. Kind of went out here just to go out here and figure out what I could figure out what the plan is going to be moving forward. I was trying to answer my own question, and my question was, how do you make the ball, how do you make that ball rise? How do you make that orbit rise? And, well, I still don't have an exact answer, obviously, but maybe it just happens. Maybe it just happens. That's the quickest solution that I came from. I was really first few throws that I took here was really focused on doing that, and I think that, like, I almost thought about that too much, and I should have just focused my attention on just throwing and doing the things that I normally do. You really gotta be very, I don't know what the word is. You really have to be very attention to detail oriented, because just because this ball is lighter, it allows you to really blow through. You can blow through some stuff, I guess, and you can really not get any. And if you don't have any intention, then you won't get anything out of what you're doing, just throwing the lighter ball, because your body is used to throwing the heavier ball, and you're stronger. And yes, and there's a big difference here. And you think that just because, yeah, it's lighter now let's see if you can throw far. Like, no, it doesn't work like that. And I'm glad that that wasn't my intention. That wasn't my focus by any means. Was definitely, like I said, I was trying to figure out how to make that ball. I was just trying to get through some throws to feel what I could feel, figure out what I could learn. Didn't go horrible, but felt awfully strange. Definitely not used to doing this. And halfway through this, I was really thinking, I was like, maybe I should have just, if I want to do a little bit of extra work, maybe I should have done some right-handed, left-handed turns, or just turns anyway. Something to that nature could have been just as productive for me. But yes, I do kind of like throwing, and I kind of want to take this as a relax day, I guess, if you will. Not necessarily a fun, because fun would mean, oh, I get to go chunk the lighter ball. I get to go chunk it, and that's not productive either. And then on the other layer to that is, and like I've thrown a lot of days this week, is just because I'm throwing a lighter weight, if I'm throwing it at the same intensity, well, I'm still not saving my CNS, and I'm still potentially run the risk of pounding and breaking myself down. So a lot of things I was taking I ended up like kind of thinking about, and I'm going to think about moving forward, because yes, I do like to mix it. I mean, especially when you throw a heavier ball, I like to mix in. And the 15 really isn't a heavier ball. When I say a heavier ball, I'm thinking about an 8K or 9K or something to that nature. When I throw one of those, yeah, I definitely want to mix in a 14 or something to that nature, just to see, keeping in mind how things translate. Good. Because it can be a bit, it can be wearisome to throw that heavy ball all the time. That's what it can be. So wasn't good, wasn't bad. Kind of honed it in toward the end here. It looked a lot better, but yes, you have to remind yourself to focus on certain things when you're throwing that lighter ball, because your body isn't used to it. It's just a completely different feeling. I'm a lot less concerned about the left elbow now, because when I was throwing this today, there's a couple times where that ball almost entirely felt like, I'm less concerned about the right elbow, that offhand elbow, because that ball almost entirely felt with this lighter ball, like, and it felt like it was leaving my left arm actually. Then even if this off arm is bent a little bit, it can't be that big of a deal, because I could feel myself. Today the ball was slipping out of my left hand. So it's pretty. I think that I have that in the correct in a best manner way. I was a little worried about that early. I saw that on the film. I don't know when I saw that on the film, but I caught myself looking at that. But there is a negligible amount of tension within your arm. So something that I have to take into consideration for the future. And yes, I don't know what this could have been a little bit more productive. I could have had a little bit more intention than what I thought. I didn't have a goal, and my goal isn't, especially when I've taken a lot of throws already during the week, my goal isn't to necessarily take a lot of throws. I don't know what you can figure out, what you can get out of it without being, okay, I need to throw this distance, or see if I can throw this lighter ball a further distance today, because I don't think that, and I'm glad that I didn't have that intention. And just in general, I've learned in general that when you switch into lighter balls or what have you, you can't, especially going from heavier to light, it's easier to think that you're going to do a better distance on it, but that can't even be the importance. The importance has to be what you learned from the heavier ball and with weights. And I think about this with weightlifting, with heavier weights and with heavier balls, it's unforgiving, right? And it's going to teach you something that you can translate into when the weight is lighter, or when the weight is lighter. So you have to be more perfect, and you have to be more tuned in. You have to be more tuned in when, like I said, especially with Olympic lifting and power clean and stuff like that, you have to be more tuned in when the weight is heavier, or when you're throwing a heavier ball. And then you can get away with stuff when the ball is obviously a little bit lighter. And yeah, something that I've kept in mind with weightlifting and with my training just in general. I've kept that in mind, and that's why you should be very, with Olympic lifting. I've always made sure that my technique is locked in, and that I'm doing all the right things, especially before I go for the bigger lifts down the road. So something you can take with you and apply to a bunch of different things. But yes, that's just the nature of it's unforgiving. And just because you think that you're strong with throwing around the lighter weights or what have you, no, everything should look the same. That's the way I think about it. Everything should look the same, or it should look very, very close to the same. So when it doesn't, and I think that today I was sort of hopping over, kind of, I would say, not staying grounded on all those turns a couple times, a little wobbly. No, that doesn't work. That's not succinct. That is not succinct. So something to think about. I'm going to go back and watch some videos of some earlier throws this week and see what I figure out. But that's just about all I got, guys. You already know what the deal is. Run on your toes, keep your mouth closed, lock your doors, and save your throws. Most importantly, live to fight another day. I'm going to get out of here.